on the one hand, you have like hardcore custom computer people who have like custom cases and like it's all glass and there's like a water in there, it's an aquarium, and there's fish. And like I think there's a like they'll go crazy like custom super custom builds, and I think there's even like conventions where they can bring their stuff and like show it off. There's that, and then on the other hand, there's just people who don't know how to put a computer together. They don't know what all the different components are. And they just go to Target or Best Buy, pre-assembled computer off the shelf like a Dell, HP.
Anyways, tell me about the games.
The games?
Yeah.
In general or my game? Like, there's some light at the end of the tunnel of this like terrible period of computer components being really expensive and inflated by AI industry basically sucking up all of the computer resources, so that consumers are having a hard time getting like computer parts, new computers, or even like game machines. All the prices are going up for PlayStation, Xbox, to the point where like the whole point of consoles was so that normal people who don't want to pay for an expensive gaming computer can just buy a box for a couple $100, plug it in the TV, and just pop in some discs and play games right away. No technical barrier. But the consoles prices are keep going up to the point where it almost costs as much as just a regular computer now.
Really?
And
aren't they like a couple $100?
yeah, but now they're creeping up to like $600, $700, $800, $900.
$900?
Almost $1,000. And now there's talk of like, I don't think this is gonna work. There's this talk of like console makers trying to take a page out of the phone playbook, which is to sell these machines for $1,000, but offer like a payment plan by hooking up with the bank and doing, because most phones are sold, people don't buy these $1,000 phones with cash up front. They do like basically like, almost like a car loan, right? Like monthly payments.
They finance it.
They finance it, yeah. So there's rumors about the console makers looking into a financing model of selling these machines.
But isn't a computer like $2,000, $3,000?
Yeah, so okay, a good gaming computer is like $2,000.
You could also just buy a Switch.
Yeah, Switch isn't cheap either. I think Switch is like $500.
$500 for a Switch?
For Switch 2. And I think it's $400 for the old Switch 1.
Wow. But I mean, $500 feels good. Like if a gaming
$500 is fine, but now like my PlayStation, it went up to like $550, so it's almost $600.
That one's not even the Pro, is it?
No, and that's not even the Pro. The Pro is the one that's like $900 now.
So this is because the computer, because of AI? Everything's AI's fault.
Because AI sucked up all of the, yeah, they basically, all these AI companies hoarded all these computer components to where like the supply is now throttled by them.
So
there's some computer component companies that have completely eliminated their consumer branch and to focus solely on B2B.
Yeah, because gamers like to build their own computers?
Yeah, gamers like to build their own computers. Even if they don't, like Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, these all need computer parts. The gaming industry relies on these components. But now you can't, like, it's a terrible time to try and build your own PC right now because all the parts are way too overpriced.
There used to be this store. I mean, I think the store is still there, but like in my hometown, there was this computer store and it sold computer parts. And I always wondered, why would anyone want to build their own computer?
Why would you buy individual parts? Why would you want to take the trouble of putting it together? Just get the one that's already assembled on the shelf and like buy it. It's the whole thing. Here's why. You might start with something that you pulled off the shelf, but over time, the demands, like the graphical demands of different applications or games, if you're playing games, increase over time, and so you find yourself wanting a little more juice out of your computer, but you don't want to buy a whole new computer because the slots inside the computer, they're pretty much standard, and you can kind of like pull a component, put one in, put another one in, or replace one with a newer one. And so it's more economical to replace computer components over time inside the box that you already have instead of buying a whole new computer. That's how you buy parts. So I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I'm on the one hand, you have like hardcore custom computer people who have like custom cases, and like, it's all glass and there's like a water in there, it's an aquarium and there's fish. And like, I think there's like, they'll go crazy, like, super custom builds. And I think there's even like conventions where they can bring their stuff and like show it off. There's that. And then on the other hand, there's just people who don't know how to put a computer together. They don't know what all the different components are. And they just go to Target or Best Buy, pre-assembled computer off the shelf, like a Dell, HP. I'm kind of in between, where I'm not that crazy about custom computers, but I know enough about computers and like what parts you need to put one together to take something that I had off the shelf, but later on open it up and swap parts.
I just had a thought that maybe gamers do that with their consoles. Could you do that with your console? Like swap out parts?
No, they don't want you to do that. They even have a thing where as soon as you open it up, you forfeit your warranty. So you should only do that if you really, really know what you're doing. And the thing about consoles is they're very different from normal computers because everything's custom. All the components are custom. So you don't even benefit from trying to modify your console. There's more likely to just break it, unless again, like, you're an actual like hardware engineer and you know what you're doing. Because some people have taken apart their consoles and like added a hard drive or memory, or like, or they just wanted to put it in a custom case. But aside from that, you also can't modify it because all the games that coming out for that machine are fine-tuned to work on that machine and that machine's spec, which is the same on every machine.
But it would be better if you can modify it, because then you don't have to buy a new machine. You just upgrade the one that you have. It's kind of like we were talking about the other day. You said that developers now aren't making sequels, they're just updating the actual game.
Yeah.
So if you could do that with your console, you could just... There will still be people who buy new consoles because, like you said, they don't know.
Whatever upgrades you get to make on consoles is very limited and tightly controlled.
I'm saying in theory.
If they were to open it up, make it much easier, well, that kind of defeats the point of consoles. So in some ways, consoles are great for developers because it simplifies things. Like, they know that every machine is the same. So when they build for a PlayStation, for example, they know that what they have on their computer in their studio is exactly how it's going to play on that machine. The PC, on the other hand, everybody's computer is different and unique, and there's so many different configurations, different parts. You can't anticipate every possible bug on the PC.
People still make games for PC.
People still make games for PC. And you have minimum specs, like it should have at least this much RAM, this much, like, they'll do that to help people decide, oh, it's gonna run on my computer. But just it's a lot easier to develop for consoles because there's much fewer factors.
They're still variable though, because yesterday you were watching that one video showing two side-by-side PS5 gameplays, and one of them was clearly sharper than the other. So that's
because there's two versions of PlayStation 5.
So they were playing on two different PlayStations?
Yeah.
Oh, which one do you have?
The regular.
And which one was the regular? The blurry one or the...
Probably the blurry one. Well, it wasn't even... No, and those side-by-side comparisons were on the same machine, but just different settings.
That's what I'm saying. That there, even if you have the same machine, even if you have a machine, there's still different variables, like different things you can change to make it look different.
Yeah, so they've opened up the settings a little bit to be a little bit more like a PC experience, where every PC game needs to have a very thorough and robust settings menu that lets you tweak these graphical settings to match your machine. So they're starting to introduce some of those options for the console, but instead of like 20 options, it's down to like 2 or 3.
That's where I think consoles are gonna go. They're gonna get more customizable.
It's going to turn into computers. Well, that's the rumor with the new Xbox. Is it's basically going to be a Windows computer. Like it's going to be a version of Windows. It's just for games. So that would be a step towards something becoming more and more like PC.
I think that's great. I think that gives the consumer more options, and people will still buy it people will still buy it straight out the box, and other people will want to customize it, and then you have something for everyone.
Yeah, but you don't want it. Yeah, so they're just opening up the customizability just a little bit, but you don't want to make it equal to PC, because that's the whole appeal of consoles, is for tech illiterate people who just want to play games. It's a way to like not worry about all those technical things, not worrying about customizing anything, just plug and play.
I think it would be the same.
Yeah.
Because it's like I have a computer and I don't know anything about it, and it comes with standard default settings, and like that's fine. So wouldn't the consoles just come with like these default settings that you just leave, but then the people who want to switch it up will do whatever they want?
Yeah, I guess these options are just made available for people who are technically inclined and do notice like performance differences between the different settings, but who also enjoy playing on consoles. So I'm probably one of them.
Yeah.
Where like as I'm playing on the PlayStation, I'm very aware of like the performance, like the frame rate being good, or like it dropping, like ooh, it's kind of stuttered. So I totally would like go in and change the settings, not just play the default.
Okay.
You were recording that?